Let's talk about some awesome knitting patterns that I found that were released in the month of April. Hello everyone, Rochelle here, and I'm back to share some yarn goodness with you all today. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about new and free knitting patterns that I found that were released just last month. We're going to be talking about free patterns for the home, accessories like this. We're also going to be talking about size inclusive garments. Now, all of these patterns are free either as a download or they're free on the designer's blog. All right, let's hop to it, y'all. Let's start with garments. Okay, so the first one we have is the Ripple Cardigan designed by Chi for Hobie. So this calls for DK weight yarn, and the bust circumference ranges between 33.5 to 65 inches. So that's a really nice bust range. And in centimeters, that's 85.5 to 165. The needle size that it calls for is a US 2.5 to a 3 millimeter. Also, you're going to need, I said that backwards. You're going to need a US 2.5, which is a 3 millimeter, and you're going to need a US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter. So many numbers. Okay, and of course, I do want to say that depending on your gauge and your tension, your needle size may or may not change, but we're just going by what's recommended in the pattern. So let's talk about some skills that you'll need to make this. You will need to know how to knit two together, make one right, make one left, make one purl increase, make one right purl increase, make one left purl increase, purling, purl two together, slip, slip, knit, slip, slip, purl, and all the other fun, cool things. I feel like I can make a song with that. But you will also need to know how to slip purl-wise, and basically your yarn is in the back, and then you'll need to be able to slip knit-wise with your yarn in the front. Okay, so this is a V-neck cardigan. I love V-necks, and it is knitted seamlessly from the top down in compound raglan shaping. So I haven't done compound raglan shaping yet, so I'm really looking forward to it. I think it looks really, really nice. And also I love that lacy detail on the body and the sleeve cuffs. I think it's really elegant and quite beautiful. Okay, so let's go on to our next one. Next we have the Daisy Lady Skirt, and it is designed by Bethany Swartz. Okay, so this one calls for sport weight yarn, which we love. I love sport weight yarn because it is that perfect medium between DK and fingering weight yarn. Love it. Okay, so the waist circumference for this is between a 23 to 50 inch waist, and in centimeters, that's 58.5 to 127. So the needle sizes are a US 2, which is a 2.75 millimeter, and a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter knitting needle. So some of the skills you'll need to know include provisional cast on, knit, purl, make one right, make one left, the backwards loop cast on, folded hem, and Kitchener stitch, as well as the whip stitch. And of course, those are for seaming up the garment. So basically this skirt is a really beautiful, flowy knit skirt, and it also features a folded hem. And of course, you're going to need some elastic for that, but the waistband is folded. Of course, there's pockets. Pockets are always great. And I love that ruffle design at the bottom. I have not seen that before, so I really like that design. And then also, you will need to know how to do the bind off for the folded hem as well, but all of that is explained. The great thing about these patterns being free is that I've had the opportunity to go through and read all of the patterns and research them to see that they are available. So, all of that is explained in there. Okay, y'all, let's jump on to our next one, and it is the Vienna Textured Tank, and it is designed by Sarah Hatton for West Yorkshire Spinners. So this one calls for fingering weight yarn. So this is perfect for those who like a thinner yarn. And the bust circumference ranges between 28 to 62 inches. And in centimeters, that is 71 to 158 centimeters. And so you will need a couple of needle sizes. You will need a US 2, which is a 2.75 millimeter. And you will also need a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter. You will need to know quite a few skills for this one, but of course, if there's any skills that you don't know how to do, there's a ton of tutorials on YouTube that you all can look up. So you'll need to know how to knit, knit two together, purl, purl two together, pass, slip stitch over, slip one stitch knitwise, the stocking stitch, and the yarn forward. So those you will need to know. And also, just more about this tank top. It is knitted flat and seamed, so there's going to be some sewing involved. And I really like that this tank top is bra friendly, okay? When I'm wearing a tank top, I don't want to be thinking about, is my bra showing? Is my bra showing? I don't even want to think about all that, y'all, okay? I really don't. So I think that the vertical lacy stripes are also very, very beautiful. So wonderful tank top. I think it is very well thought out and it's a really nice design. Okay, so let's move on to our next one. This one is the Toscana or the Tosca. Y'all know me in names. I am terrible with names. I'm going to go with Tosca Cardigan. And it is designed by Allison Green for Barocco. So this one calls for worsted weight yarn, and the bust circumference ranges between 38 to 72.5 inches. And in centimeters, that's 96.5 to 184 centimeters. So the needle sizes for this one includes a US 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter. Also a US 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter. Now, the skills that you'll need to know for this one includes knit, purl, right twist, right lifted purl increase, and the left lifted purl increase. Say that 10 times. So this is a very elegant button-up cardigan, and it also features a beautiful trellis pattern. I have never done that before, so I think it's really beautiful. And then it has those eyelets, and then it has like that twisted stitch detail. I think it's beautiful. There's so many different elements to this cardigan that's just fantastic. And also note that it is knit bottom up, so either when it comes to bottom up, either you love it or you hate it. It's just, sometimes it's just a necessary evil. So this is knit bottom up, and basically it starts with the split hems. So you start with the split hems on the side and work your way up. And so then after that, you're going to knit flat up to the underarms, and all of that's going to be in one piece. So that's really nice. Okay, let's jump on to our next one. It is the Pansy top designed by Kayla Baldwin for Expression Fiber Arts. All right, so this one is a fingering weight project, and the bust circumference ranges between 28 to 62 inches, and in centimeters, that's 71 to 158 centimeters. So for this one, you'll only need one needle size, and that's a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter. So you only need to know a few skills for this one, and it includes knit two together, purl, slip one with yarn in front, and slip, knit, which is a decrease, of course. So this one is worked from the bottom up. And then another thing that I really like is that lacy detail. I'm really into that. It's really beautiful. I think it adds a really nice detail at the bottom of this piece. And I want to note that this pattern is free for a limited time. So go ahead, go on the website, download it now, because it's not going to be free forever. It's just free for a limited time. All right, y'all, so let's take a little breaky and talk about what I'm wearing. And of course, I'm wearing all black. I don't even know if you all can see that I'm wearing a cowl. It probably just looks like I'm wearing a turtleneck, which I'm definitely not, because I don't like turtlenecks. So I am wearing the bandana number 4, and it is designed by Cleo Malone. It's a free pattern. Let me take it off for y'all. I made an entire video all about this. But since we're talking about free patterns today, I wanted to feature one. So here it is. And as I mentioned, I did an entire YouTube video about it. I will link my Ravelry page below where I talk about it. But it is stunning. It is beautiful. It doesn't take a lot of yarn. In fact, the yarn that I used for this was yarn that was left over from a project that I had made. And so I think I had like half ball left. So it's really nice, you know, if you have like a stash busting or scrap project or something like that, it's really nice. And of course, whenever I do this, I can never put it back on the way I originally had it. Let's move on to accessories. Okay, so the first one we have is the Simple Comfort Shawl, and it is designed by Amanda Newling of Bean Blossom Fibers. So this calls for fingering weight yarn, and the size for this shawl, so there's a few different sizes because of course, you know, because of the shape. All right, so looking at the long edge, the top long edge of the shawl, it's 73 inches or 185 centimeters. And then you look at that side edge, that's going to be 53 inches or 135 centimeters. And then you have your cast on edge, and that's going to be 30 inches or 76 centimeters. So this is a nice size shawl. Really nice. I do see why it's called the Simple Comfort Shawl, because I think it'll be nice and wrapped around you and bring you a lot of comfort. So the needle size that it calls for is a US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter. And you'll need to know how to knit two together, purl, and knit front and back. So don't need to know a whole lot, really simple. And this is just an asymmetrical shawl that's knit flat in one piece. So that's really nice. To tell you the truth, I think that this would make a great beginner project. I really do. It doesn't require like a whole bunch of elaborate knitting skills. I would definitely give this one a try if you're a beginner thinking about making a shawl. Up next, we have the Tiny Kerchiefs designed by Malia May Joseph for West Wool. All right, so this one calls for a fingering weight yarn, and it has two versions. So both the ribbed and broken rib versions have a 22-inch or 56 centimeter wingspan. So that wingspan is going to be how long it is from tip to tip. So the difference is the ribbed version is 4.75 inches or 12 centimeters at that deepest point. So that point there from the top to the bottom, that's your deepest point. And the broken rib version is 6 inches or 15 centimeters at the deepest point. So that broken rib version is going to be slightly bigger than the ribbed version. And so it calls for a US 4 knitting needle, which is a 3.5 millimeter. And this one is super simple. You only need to know how to do 4 knitting skills for this one. And that's knit two together through the back loop, purl, and yarn over. Super, super simple. You got this. Not a problem. It's a good one. And so I love tiny scarves. I really do. Obviously, I love tiny scarves. And what I like about this one is that it's a blend of a tiny scarf and a bandana. So, you know, I love bandanas as well. And so I really like that the size is totally customizable and you can make it, you know, as big or as small as you want. Let's talk about patterns for the home. All right, y'all, we've got the Hot Spring Towel Set designed by Gianna Mueller for Pearl Soho. Y'all, when I saw this one, I just wanted to go and have a little spa date because this looks so nice and cozy. So it calls for worsted weight yarn, and it comes with 3 sizes included in the pattern, and I think that is so awesome. So it has a washcloth, a hand towel, and a bath towel. That is so cool to get 3 in one pattern like that. And it's free. That is crazy. And so since there's so many different sizes, what I'm going to do is put on the screen the sizes that they all come in. So the inches and the centimeters. So I want you all to definitely have that. And so the needle size for all 3 is a US 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter. And the skills you'll need to know include the long tail cast on, knit, purl, making an I-cord, knit two together, and passing stitches over. And I just love that waffle texture. I don't think I've made anything with a waffle texture yet, but I really do like it. And I think, like I said before, this set would be so great for a spa day. Like I would love it. Let me know if you're interested in any of these patterns, or if you've already made some of these patterns. Definitely let me know what's your favorite ones. And yeah, also, I just recently uploaded a crochet version of this as well, because I knit and I crochet. So I uploaded a crochet video talking about all the new and free patterns that I found during the month of April. So if you're interested in that, definitely go ahead and check it out. So y'all, thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know what you worked on while watching, or did you just chill? Either way, leave me a comment. I love interacting with you all, so I really, really do appreciate that. Also, if you would like access to more exclusive videos, you can you can check or click the join button below. I have updated the perks for my membership, so definitely check that out. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, bye.